What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday. And here we are, guys. Best albums of 1984, the Top 5. This was a tough one because there was a lot of greatness in this year, but I think I've whittled it down, so let's get right to it. At number 5... The Unforgettable Fire by U2. Come on, man. This is when U2 really came into their own with that huge bombastic sound and that great guitar sound that only the Edge can create, with all that reverb on songs like Pride, In the Name of Love, and then later in the album on songs like Bad, where the songs just really take their time to build in such a beautiful way, and Bono's impassioned vocals. This is when they just went for stadium rock just all the way. And of course, they would go on to make even better records than this. But man, what a great starting point with the team of Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois taking the reins along with Steve Lillywhite on production, and just created some of the most spectacular sounds of the 1980s. So that's just at number 5. And now at number 4... Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. I mean, come on, man. This record was huge in 1984, and for good reason. I mean, you had the title track, you had Dancing in the Dark, which to this day I think is a really great song, not just as kind of a pop rock crossover, but also songwriting wise, it really holds up, man. And then you've got ballads like I'm on Fire, which I think is one of Springsteen's strongest songs of his entire catalog, mixed in with all these other rockers and fun upbeat songs like Glory Days. I mean, there's not a bad song on this record, and I would rank it as one of his best, honestly. And that's just at number 4. So now at number 3... "1984" by Van Halen. Absolutely, man. This was actually one of the first records that I remember owning as a kid, and so cool the way that vinyl has made kind of like a full circle reemergence at this point. But man, just to be a kid growing up in the 80s with MTV being such a presence, and Van Halen being at the top of that list with videos for Jump and Panama, and of course the Hot for Teacher video. But I mean, just those 3 songs alone, and then you've got great B-sides like I'll Wait, which is an incredible just keyboard riff. Drop Dead Legs. Eddie Van Halen just was a riff master in the 80s. I mean, right up there with the likes of how strong Jimmy Page was in the 70s, coming up with new and inventive guitar riffs. Plus, he was just a beast on the keyboard on songs like Jump, which to me is still one of my favorite songs of that year, of that decade. So yeah, had to have it this high on the list. So now at number 2... Purple Rain by Prince. I know a lot of you are probably saying, how is this not number 1? And what is number 1? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But I mean, come on. When you say Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA had taken over the airwaves, Prince was even that much higher in the ranking. I mean, I remember going to see the movie in theaters, which blew my little 6 or 7-year-old mind, whatever it was. And the music, man, I mean, just from the opening of Let's Go Crazy, you're in for something amazing. What a ride of an album, and so many hit songs on this thing. And just like Springsteen, I mean, all the B-sides are gems, like The Beautiful Ones and Darling Nikki and Computer Blue. But of course, Purple Rain, incredible. What an amazing closing song. And then When the Doves Cry, When Doves Cry, there was nothing like it at the time. And still, all these years later, there's nothing quite like it. And as I said, this is just my number 2. So now at number 1... Bob Marley's Legend. And yes, I know this is cheating. This is totally a cheat because this is a greatest hits compilation album that was released posthumously a few years after he passed away. And there's not any one song that was written in 1984 on this album. I realize this is totally cheating, but this is the one exception that I make to putting a greatest hits compilation on one of these top 5 lists for best album of the year, because it is so well done. It's every single song on here is perfectly chosen. Even the version of the live version of No Woman, No Cry is the best version of that song. Like, so not just all the greatest songs that you could ever need of Marley's career, but also the best versions. And it's the kind of greatest hits compilation where you have it and you think, man, I don't even know if I need to go further in this guy's catalog because it's that good. Of course, you should go and listen to more of Marley's albums, but for me personally, this is like the cream of the crop, the best compilation. I think it's the greatest hits compilation of all time, and that's why I made an exception on this list. Otherwise, I normally would not put a greatest hits album, and I wouldn't ask you guys to do the same. So I understand if you're not happy with my choice at number 1, but man, I mean, come on. If you're gonna go with a Bob Marley album, this is the one to go to start with. And man, but 1984, what a year in music when you think about that, even excluding Marley out of the picture. Just an incredible year, and so many other artists that were doing great things at the time. So let me know in the comments below, what would your top 5 be? If you're so bold, leave me a top 10. And guys, we got top 5s every Friday, album reviews, so much more. Thank you for watching, and as always, Viva la vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.